Batman and Robin number 2, written by Peter J. Tomasi, art by Patrick Gleason. Last issue we left off, Damian just got grounded because he can't control himself out on the battlefield, and the killer currently known as Nobody just murdered Batman of Moscow. This issue picks up. Damian is in a training room. Batman and Alfred are watching him, and Batman's like, he's really, really good at this. And that makes me kind of sad because we get a flashback to his life where him and Talia al Ghul hooked up. Talia somehow put Damian in like a test tube instead of it being a natural pregnancy. I'm still a little unsure on Damian's entire backstory. Damian was trained as an assassin. Like, even he looks like 3 years old and he's already killing people. Finally, he meets up with Batman. He becomes Robin, and blah blah blah. And Batman's whole thing is like, it's in his nature to be a killer. So I'm hoping that I can overcome that with nurture, because Batman's the nurturing type. What with all the kids I've gotten involved in this war against crime. And Alfred's like, you've tried your best. You've been a good moral compass. Like, don't worry about it. And he's like, no, Alfred, you don't understand. I'm actually afraid of dying now because I'll leave my son fatherless. So what does that say about my mission? So then Batman comes up to him and he's like, hey, that arms shipment that we've been looking at has finally come in. Why don't you get dressed? So they go out. They find the arms shipment. They beat up all the guys. And notably, Batman sees that Damian is holding back, like not using as much excessive force as he could be. And they string up the guys from a lamppost, and Batman's like, hey, I noticed that you weren't actively killing them. That's commendable. Okay. And then they just leave the guys hanging there. They actually stick with the guys for a second, and they're like, oh, let's cut ourselves out. We got get the knife ready. And as they're sitting there, like, trying to get their knife, the killer currently known as Nobody comes up and slits their throats and says, like, well, don't have to worry about that. Cut back to Damian training. Alfred's like, okay, you said you said he did a good job. What were your exact words? And Batman's like, I said it was commendable. That's good, right? And Alfred's like, you didn't actually say you were proud of him or anything like that? And he's like, commendable's good. And Alfred just shakes his head and walks off. Bruce does come up to Damian and he's like, hey, good work on the field tonight, son. And he's like, actually, he doesn't even say son. That's too much. So Damian's like, I know. Batman walks off, tells Damian to get some sleep. And then Damian snatches a bat out of midair. Like, he just grabs it and crushes it in his hand, looks at it, and throws it down into one of the cavernous abysses in the Batcave. And Alfred saw all of this, and he's like, oh no. So you have a small boy who's unable to deal with small animals that well. What do? You get him a dog. So Batman went out and he got himself a Great Dane. We have yet to get a name on him, but as he's out at the kennel looking at this majestic looking dog, he's approached by a shadowy figure who's totally not Nobody. Actually, I'm pretty sure they weren't even hiding it. I think we're supposed to know this is Nobody. But his name is Morgan. They both trained with Henry Ducard back during Batman's training days. And basically Morgan's like, dude, you made an international team of Batmen. You've clearly forgotten the clarity of your mission here. And he's like, Morgan, this is my mission. This isn't yours at all. And he's like, okay, well, consider this an intervention. And he presses a big red button, and an explosion goes off behind Bruce. It's exploding a barrel of candy. I don't quite get that part, but in the hubbub, he gets away, and Bruce is left standing wistfully out at the sunset of, oh no, my past has caught up with me yet again. I like it. It's good. It's definitely, it's setting up the Batman and Robin. That's the primary focus of this, of how are those two getting along? How does Batman have a son, an actual son, now that we're in the post-Golden Age where he's just like, that's right, Dick Grayson, you're fantastic. I liked it. I think it was good. Art-wise, I know it's just a tone thing they're going for, but, like, sometimes the people are just so heavy on the inks that, like, They look unnatural, especially Talia for some reason. I can't put my finger on why, but something's not right with her. But it's just 2 panels. It's not anything that bad. The fight scenes are fantastic. I have no problem with that. Overall, I'd say I'll give it a 7. It's fine. It's a good read. It's solid. I definitely like what they're setting up here. I like how Damien is not actually getting better. He's just masking it. He's just hiding it from his father because, he's crushing small animals. That's just a sociopath. So no, I'll give this a 7. Still looking forward to where it's going every month. So yeah, Batman and Robin.